Hello, YouTube. Hello, people watching this.
Hi,
Welcome to
it's me.
Campy Cast. Yeah, this podcast
Ooh,
that
yeah,
me
baby.
and my friend Brian ended up
It's
creating.
me.
So we have a big passion for media and all that stuff. Media in general, movies,
Mhm.
video games, TV shows,
Yep.
all that stuff.
Films,
Internet,
those are cool.
internet culture, just that in general, I guess. But
Hmm.
we wanted to share that with the world in some way or another. I know I don't think like a lot of people might be watching this. I mean, literally, this is our first video. You never heard of us,
Hmm.
so. But who
Yeah.
cares? Who cares? I don't care who watches this as long as at least
Don't
someone
worry,
watches it. We're doing this for
we have a
fun.
pre-established audience.
Yeah, I guess.
You,
Yeah,
you,
kind
you,
of.
you know who you are if you're watching this.
Yeah, you know who you are. Anyways, welcome to Campy Cast. Once again, if you're
Yeah.
wondering where we got that name, it kind of embodies like our sense of humor. We like
Hmm.
camping movies, those stupid, dumb, exaggerated stuff that have some level of self-awareness to them, like the Raimi
Yeah.
Spider-Man trilogy, maybe Airplane, all those classics that we all know to this day.
Yeah,
So,
we love The Land Before Time too, as well. A film that exists.
yeah,
It's
maybe
gonna be
we'll do that one day. Who knows? Maybe we'll
Yeah,
do
shout
review
outs to
every.
it's back. I don't won't go off topic on this, but I gotta celebrate. The film's
Yeah.
back.
Oh yeah, we have
Mm.
letterboxes.
Yeah, we'll probably link
Letterbox
those
accounts.
later, but
We'll link those probably. Yeah.
mm.
If you guys want to see our ratings on movies, then yeah. Yeah. If you're wondering,
Yeah,
since you're just looking at the thumbnail, I'm the Squidward guy, and he's the Seth MacFarlane, Patrick Bateman thing. Um,
I'm a Seth expert. You know that if you're watching this,
yeah, he made
probably.
that
But
himself. So everyone, give a
Seth
round of
MacFarlane's
applause.
cool.
A round of
I
applause. I can't speak.
Yeah.
Applause to Brian for
I was
creating
at
that
the TED baseball stadium.
I was at the TED
Brian
baseball stadium.
Brian fact, I have stepped the same steps as Seth himself.
Yes,
But
yes,
yeah.
yes, he is a Seth connoisseur in some way, and maybe we'll
Yeah.
talk about Seth in the future. This is kind of just an introduction episode. It's gonna probably be different from the usual ones we might make, but
It might
yeah.
be shorter too, depending on how much we refine the formula and everything.
Exactly.
But
This is just an
yeah,
idea we had. We're mainly doing it for fun, and we'll really appreciate
yeah,
if you guys watch it. I guess I don't
yeah,
know. Put it on in the background. I guess that's what I do with podcasts whenever I watch
yeah.
them.
Fun's cool. We love fun films like Solo. Yeah,
Whoa, buddy. Do you want to? Do you
yeah.
want to? He didn't say anything. We're cutting that out. We're cutting that out.
Aww.
We're we're gonna we might cut that out. Who knows? We
Ah.
don't know. This is just on the spot right now. But
Mm.
no, we don't like films like that. Please.
All right.
Why did you say that?
I don't
Anyways,
know.
just forget it. Just forget it. All
Mm.
right. Yeah. We won't review every single film. This is a good opportunity. We are kind of limited. I mean, I guess like we only will watch film. We won't watch films that are like, I guess, morally offensive. I guess in some
Well,
way.
yeah, like you're not getting a cuties discussion. That's
Oh
all I'm
God,
saying.
yeah,
Like,
no,
like,
no,
well, like
no,
we're restricting ourselves from that kind of shit.
no.
And
Yeah.
it's, there are obviously some stuff we just don't care about covering, but we'll cover hopefully a wide variety of shit, and some new releases too. Yeah, we're gonna talk about a lot of new shit. We're gonna talk about like that kind of junk, and yeah, we hope it's fun.
Yeah.
Films are fun.
Yeah, we like films a
Yeah.
lot. We will talk about shows and video games here and there, but I think we'll mainly focus on movies since those are the easiest things
Yeah,
to do.
games will probably be the most unlikely one. It's
It's
just harder to discuss. We
yeah,
don't like
yeah.
play them as
The
much.
problem is with games is that it's kind of hard because you have to. It's like you have to play the entire game. It's like you just have to play the entirety of it. It's worth it near the end when you're playing a good game because there's a lot of good games out there, like out
Hmm.
there. Like yeah,
Like Tori.
yeah, Tori, yes, such classics like that, and the Smurfs Dance Party. We're
Yeah.
those games are amazing. But
Yeah, great games.
yeah, who
Great.
knows?
Video against his.
Maybe we'll talk about Sonic Forces. We all know how good that is.
We probably will talk about Forces someday. When I beat it, we're definitely doing a Forces discussion.
Yeah, just an entire Forces
I don't know when that is,
theme.
but I'm promising this right now for all you future listeners. Forces discussion will happen. But
it will happen.
Yeah.
It sure damn will. That Forces discussion. Why am I doing this accent? Anyways, yeah, I'm just really passionate about movies in general. I think it's like a really great way to tell a story, I guess. Like, screw books. That's right. I said it. Movies. I like movies more.
Imagine reading. Only Mr. Peanut Butter does stuff like that.
I don't understand that reference, but yeah,
It's a BoJack elderly joke.
What? I don't watch BoJack.
BoJack. BoJack abuses the elderly. You don't know?
Actually, I don't know this guy. He just offered to be part of this podcast. That's why I was just looking for someone, and he just texted me. So I don't
I'm Drake Bell.
Okay, just put out. Anyways, yeah, I guess just movies and stuff. Mainly talk about that. We'll have guests here and there, whether it be like, just guests in general, people who we know.
We probably won't have them for like a while, but it'll happen eventually.
Yeah, this is just like, we're just trying to get used to this type of stuff as of now. But yeah, we're just getting used to it, and yeah, I'm excited to do this. If once we won't do this for the first couple episodes, since we're completely new to this whole YouTube thing. I mean, 2022 YouTube and all that. Yeah, but at some point, if we start to gain a small audience, maybe we'll do questions here and there, questions. You guys can ask us questions of whatever we want, as long as it's I don't know, appropriate. I know we just brought up something weird earlier. Brian. Mind explaining that before we get canceled on our first episode?
I'm telling you, BoJack abuses the elderly.
No, not that. Whatever. We're not
okay,
about
never
that
mind.
anymore. Anyways, yeah. We'll talk about movies and stuff, and video games, shows. We'll talk about recent news that might be happening in the film industry and stuff. We'll talk about new releases, whether it be on Disney Plus, on Netflix, streaming services, theatrical releases, since those
those Quibi releases, Tubi, all the great streaming services.
Yeah, we all love that stuff. That's really good. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's it for introductions, right?
I guess what else can I say? What else?
We got most of it.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, news, movies, discussion. We might do milestones here and there, watch movies. Each of us will recommend a movie at the end of each video. Also, one last thing. If you're wondering why... okay, forget it. I already explained why it's called Can't Be Cast, because we like
silly have to edit some of this
and dumb movies, I guess. Yeah. Just those silly, dumb movie stuff, I guess. Yeah. I don't know if I said that. I think I said that earlier.
I think you did.
Yeah, I just repeated myself. Oh well.
It's just
first episode. We're gonna find our footing after a while. Don't worry, guys. Don't worry, people watching this, the 10 people watching this. But yeah, I'm really glad to do this. So let's just jump into it, as everyone says.
Yeah.
Let's just jump into it. So, first news. GTA 6 has been leaked. It a game we have all been hyping it up. It has been all over the place. It is the most hyped game, probably. GTA 5 is next to Minecraft in most best video game sales in general. So imagine what GTA 6, how good that game is gonna be. Like its opening week, like wow, like it's like the first week it releases, everyone's gonna buy that. It's like it's gonna be.
It feels weird though. Like it's always been for as long as I can remember, the meme's always been, haha, GTA 5. Won't Rockstar just keep releasing that GTA 5? But nope, finally happening. Sixth one. Can you believe that? Six GTA. And it is kind of funny though that it got leaked. Like I know we've been waiting for so long, but imagine the fucking hype if we didn't know about it. It just like happened.
Yeah, exactly.
GTA 6.
Yeah, there's just like been so much hype around it, and like it's kind of sucks how it was leaked, you know, because like everyone seems like disappointed with it, which makes no sense because hey, you know when video games like start, they take a while, you know. It's probably really early. It might not come out until like what 2 years from now. They're
clearly making fun of the game for looking unfinished when the game is unfinished.
It is unfinished.
Like, judging by the state of the leaks, they probably weren't planning on releasing this for, like, at least a couple years. You shouldn't expect it to be, like, store-ready quality.
And that sucks because now the hype train is, like, it's going lower and lower. It's the hype train. We're losing the hype train here for GTA 6 for no reason. It's bullcrap.
I don't know if I'd call it losing hype. It's just different now because we know it's actually happening instead of people speculating it's happening.
I don't even think it looks that bad for like a first build. Like I haven't seen much of the leaks. They were taken down by Rockstar pretty quickly, but it doesn't look that bad. Why are people comparing it to Watch Dogs? I mean, I haven't played Watch Dogs.
Well, people are making fun of it because the game's literally unfinished, yet it looks on the same tier as some actual released games, which is funny, but
yeah, like, I don't know, man, like, it's GTA 6, everyone's been hyping it up, and, like, who knows, it might be worth the hype, it might not. I haven't played much of, like, GTA 5, but, yeah, like I was going to say, but, GTA, I haven't even played much of GTA 5, and I'm still pretty hyped for it in some way. And even people who probably haven't played GTA 6, I think, are still kind of hyped for this one.
I've never touched a GTA game, but I just think this is interesting. Like I said, GTA 5, it's been years. Everyone makes fun of it getting re-released instead of GTA 6. Nope, GTA 6 is a thing now. It's gonna happen. It's just weird.
Yeah, it's just like surprising, you know, like GTA 6. We don't know what it will be. We still know little about it, but hey, we know it's in development now. It's gonna happen. I guess that's the bright side.
We have some footage, so that's
but
thing.
It's been taken. I'm pretty sure, or something. Like the guy who posted it was like banned or whatever, and like someone was giving him a taste of his own medicine by like leaking what his personal information. But at the same time, like, sure, that was a dumb thing for him to do, but like that's still like kind of messed up. Like, I'm not sure if this is even true. I haven't looked that deep into it, but it's still just. I don't know. I don't know. But, I don't have too much to say about this, but, like, it's interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah, I think it's weird that it happened. I don't have much to say other than that.
But, like, it's just, like, not... It's more... It's, like... it's not good. It's, like, not... Like, it's because, like, now when it gets announced, imagine, like, the hype, the blow-up this will have if it was just released. If
it happened, if no one expected it, people would, like, freak the fuck out.
Yeah, the internet will blow up, like, it would, and yet this guy just ruined it for Rockstar. Rockstar officially, Rockstar Games earlier today, I think they officially said that, it was actual footage. So it's official. GTA 6 is in development.
I will say though, I think in the tweet where they addressed it, they did say that it's not supposed to affect releasing and stuff, which is good. That's good that it's not like they're not pushing it back or anything because of this.
I think like 2 years from now, because that's clearly like an early build, and it looks pretty good for an early build for like I don't know the screenshots or whatever that I've seen from it. But like I don't know, it's just like I think people are just like overreacting with the hype, with like saying, "Oh no, it looks terrible. Oh no,
it's mid."
It's like, why? No, like. Like, maybe it doesn't look amazing, but it's a really early build. I think this game...
It's quite like, I know sometimes, like, I've had experience, people will defend, like, fucking Sword and Shield or something before the game would come out. I was like, the game's not out yet, you gotta wait till it's out. And they'll say that, like, a couple months before it drops when most of the models and stuff are finished. Shit like that, I find it annoying when people will defend it with. But no, quite literally, this game is not set to release for probably at least a few years, and people are like, it looks unfinished, because it is. It's just...
It is unfinished.
Yeah, it's dumb.
It is. It's stupid. It's just dumb. Yeah. I don't know. It's whatever. Honestly, it's just like kind of disappointing how this is like happening to such a hype game. I feel so bad for Rockstar in this situation.
Oh yeah, I can't imagine how they're dealing with this shit right now.
Yeah, they're like, oh my gosh, this one random guy just... Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't have too much to say. I guess it was leaked. Yeah, that's not a good thing for anyone, since now it lost, like, the surprise of it. Like, I think there's gonna still be hype around it, but, like, it might have lost some hype since some people said, the game looks bad for some reason. And I'm like, what? Really?
That ain't gonna last, because... when we get actual trailers for when the game is actually fully developed, people aren't going to say it looks unfinished anymore, because, you know, then it'll be a partially finished game. You can't use that excuse anymore. But, yeah.
Do we have any more to say? Anything to say?
Not really. I think we kind of got the good say on it and everything.
Yeah, I think so. All right, so we saw 2 movies a while ago, kind of, but you know, first episode. Do you have these movies fresh in your mind, right? I mean, kind of, like you remember.
One more so than the other, but I got enough that I can talk about both.
Yeah. Okay. That's good.
Both are bad. Both are bad.
Terrible movies. Just awful. I'm sorry.
Both. One is very meta, and the other is Pinocchio 2022.
Which, let's talk about that. Pinocchio 2022. It's absolutely terrible. That's right.
Yeah.
So, Disney remakes, what do we think of these Disney remakes? Well, we hate them.
They're bad.
They're terrible.
That's not a hot take to anyone.
Yeah, I know. I know. Do people defend these Disney remakes?
Well, I know the general public does, and I guess people defend Cruella. I've seen people, which is kind of a different thing, but still. Cruella's probably bad, though. I still got to get around to that. And people will defend Jungle Book 2016, I guess. They'll say that one's not that bad in comparison to the other ones. I disagree. That one's also bad. But, yeah, going into Pinocchio, just to get right into it here, I assumed it would be awful, but not as awful as some of the other ones.
I don't know. It's like...
If I'm being honest, this is like... complete bottom tier remake.
Yeah, like, another terrible remake.
Not the worst, but definitely one of the bottom ones.
Yeah, what's weird about this one is that I feel like this is getting more hate than the usual Disney remake.
Yeah,
like I noticed that people. I mean, like, people who usually don't even talk about Disney remakes are specifically talking about and trashing this one. And then I'm like, like, it's terrible. I hated it. We'll get to that.
All the criticisms are true. It's just weird that, like, fucking Cruella will get praise on Letterboxd. Yeah, this is the one that everyone's putting their foot down against.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I feel like Cruella is fine. I just really can't understand the love for Cruella it's been getting, because most of my issues with that is just for the core concept of turning this, like, one of Disney's most just best villains and just turning it into this, like, just this sympathetic girl boss badass or something. It's just such, like, she kills puppies for a living. She
Yeah,
why would you? That's just such a bad idea for a
she
movie.
quite literally has cruel in the name.
Exactly.
How are you
It's just
supposed
like
to?
it's just such a just that's most of my issues with the movie. Just the terrible concept alone. Anyways, back to Pinocchio. We'll try not to get too sidetracked during
Yeah,
these,
anyway,
but
so my first point about Pinocchio I want to mention is I think weirdly enough, it has like an opposite, well, not a opposite, but like it's just like a weirdly like yeah, kind of opposite problem to other Disney remakes cuz with something like The Lion King, right? Yeah, the lions and stuff that's technically impressive. Like technically the models and everything, they're by technicality they're like at least decently well made.
yeah,
But the problem comes with like these models, right? All these like these lions, they can't emote. And when you're doing a
exactly.
story like Lion King, where it's all about the character emotions and everything, it's bad that you can't feel the
Yes,
emotions in anything because
exactly. You can't.
they're all planks of wood
Yeah,
or
it's
whatever.
like they missed the point of the original Lion King. The story is told beautifully for its amazing visuals, its music,
Yeah,
and it just misses the mark on that because of
yeah.
how flat and bland these models just can't emote. They just can't. Like, these are just so poor usage of this advanced technology. And like, sure, that's all people point out for it when people try to compliment this movie. It's like, wow, it looks amazing. So like, yeah, sure,
Yeah.
I guess, but like, I mean, it still doesn't look good in the context of the movie. Like, they don't emote at all. They move weirdly. Like, the emotions are just so poorly conveyed, and that's like the opposite of the original Lion King. And the same thing goes with this movie. Like, the Lion King makes the
And
least amount of sense to remake
anyway,
in a
so
live action, but this is another one that I think makes the least
so
amount
they
of sense to remake in
all right,
live
to get
action.
back to my original point, right? So what I was gonna say was the point is Lion King. The main problem there is they look good, but they don't emote really. And I think Pinocchio, weirdly enough, has the opposite problem, where most of the creatures you can tell what they're emoting well, you get the conveyed emotions well. They are not visually appealing in the slightest. I genuinely do not like looking at the movie. It's fucking horrid.
Yeah, it looks
Pinocchio,
terrible.
he feels off every scene he's in. I don't like looking at him. Just weird.
Yeah,
And
he
then
looks so
Jiminy
bad.
Cricket, he's horrifying.
He looks
He's
like baby
yeah,
Shrek. He looks like a small baby
kinda.
Shrek. He looks terrifying. Like, just he looks so flat. And what's annoying is that it's almost like they sometimes, like, I think, make fun of the original, like, character's voice. Like, in terms, it just feels more exaggerated in some way. It's all like it just sounds like one of those impressions of the character from YouTube in some way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
And
like
no, I get what you mean.
it just sounds off. It just like I don't know. I don't know. It's just like, and then there's Pinocchio's voice, who is he's just so annoying. I'm sorry. He's just like, his voice is just so annoying. I don't know. There's just something about it. No offense to the kid who played him, but like, there's just something about him like that it
Yeah.
doesn't capture his naivete well. Like, it's
Oh
just.
well, that's down to the actual writing too, but we'll get into that.
Yeah,
But
yeah, because somehow this movie is able, just with its writing and the way they handle Pinocchio's character, just takes a big crap right on the original movie in every conceivable way. And just that's
Yeah.
what I hate. That's probably what I hate the most about this movie. But yeah, the performances aren't good. Tom Hanks is just like, he just doesn't work for this role. He's just like, he just doesn't sell the innocent old man role that well. And there's just so many lines in this movie that he just handled so poorly. Like, he's not a bad
Yeah.
actor or anything. This just it was probably just what they were like doing like with the character. And they like try to give him this backstory of that, like, apparently his son died, and that's why he wants to make the new Pinocchio. And I think that's what the original story was about. So I guess that makes sense, but they do nothing with it. It's just addressed. We don't know why he died. We don't know anything about it. It's just like, It's just there. The movie
Just
it
thrown
has
in,
no
and they
focus.
never address it again. It's just there. Doesn't add anything.
Exactly.
It's just dumb. Yeah. I
Also,
think the worst.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
sorry, you keep going.
My biggest issue with the original Pinocchio. It's a good movie. It's not one of my Disney favorites, but it's a fun classic for what it is. Is that like the pacing I thought was a bit off in general. I think there was like I think Geppetto should have been in it more. Or was it, I think there were definitely scenes that went on for too long. I think that's like what's happened in like old Disney movies. I have the same issue with something like Mary Poppins. Yeah, just the pacing just fell off. But yeah, but somehow this movie made it 5 times worse by adding a
Yeah,
bunch
the
of
pacing
random
is.
junk that adds nothing to the story. It takes them an hour to get to what Stromboli's like circus place. Why? It takes like the first film that is dedicated for like 2 scenes. It's fine. It does what it wants to do, and it's on to the next scene. But here it's like so long. There's like a song with this pointless ballerina character who just broke her foot or
Oh yeah,
whatever.
who does nothing, by the way, just is inserted in because you gotta extend the movie. Like, she comes back later, but that doesn't do anything. It's just added for the sake of being added, I guess.
Yep.
That's not
We needed
good.
we needed more nonsense to fill out this nearly I don't even remember the timing, nearly 2 hours probably.
It's nearly 2 hours
Yeah.
at least.
Just like
And one thing I want to mention briefly is because the original Pinocchio, it's a very simple movie. I guess I want to say there's only 3 key set pieces, right? Like, he goes to Stromboli, he does his shit there.
Exactly.
Then he goes to Pleasure Island. He does wacky donkey shenanigans, traumatizing stuff there. And then he goes back. He does stuff with the whale. And then the movie's over. He's a real boy. He's done. But because it shouldn't be like hard to stretch that out, so there's not really anything like there really that complicated. It's like a simple story. But no, everything feels so stretched. So much is added and scenes are just extended for no real reason.
Yeah.
Like, quite literally. One of the first examples of this that I want to say is so one of the main things is in the original movie Pinocchio, he's gonna go to school, right? He's gonna walk to the school, and then but no, Honest Johnny's like, nah, you gotta go to Stromboli's. That's a good idea. And in the original, it's simple. Pinocchio, he's naive. He doesn't know what to do, so he follows Honest John. He follows him because he doesn't know that not going to school is the right idea. He has no morals, so he just follows him. It's simple and it makes sense. Boom,
Exactly.
the plot's moving around. But in this movie, you have to add in an extra scene where Pinocchio actually goes to school, and then he gets kicked out, and then he goes with Honest John. And that just makes, not only is it padding for the sake of padding, that padding also makes the story make less sense, because in the original it's implied going to school is the right idea. If Honest John didn't intervene, Pinocchio would go to school, he'd have a nice day, he'd move on with his life. That's the basic idea the original movie's trying to get across. But in this, considering he gets kicked out of school, Honest John has a point, maybe not going to Stromboli's, but it makes sense for Pinocchio not to go to school anymore. So he's more justified in going to Stromboli's. He has more of a justification now. When the point in the original is that he's supposed to be wrong, it just
exactly.
it's so dragged.
That one thing alone just encapsulates how this movie completely misses the mark on what made the film's message. It was about the value of light and doing the right thing, and how the world could be, it's not afraid to show how cruel the world could be. This is more limited. I guess they removed the smoking stuff, which I guess I guess it just yeah, I don't really care about that. But then they just replace it all with root beer and whatever, and I think it kind of ruins
Cowards, dude.
yeah,
Yeah.
cat or I didn't expect them to, because that was the root beer, and I know the first Pinocchio. Some people say it might not age the best, but it has a certain edge to it that you don't see in other Disney movies.
No,
That makes
I
it
think
unique.
actually for what the original Pinocchio's going for, I I love that, honestly, because I don't think I mentioned it. The original Pinocchio is one of my favorite classic Disney movies, and what I like about it, it's a very, like I said before, it's a very simple story, right? And it has a very simple lesson, right? Basically, Pinocchio, he just gotta learn to, like, not, like, fuck around as much. He's gotta, it's literally just about him getting proper morals so he could be a real boy, right? It's very simple, but the movie goes to the extremes to get that moral across. Like Pinocchio, he doesn't go to school. Boom, he's in a cage. He gets thrown in a goddamn cage. That is
and he's
insane.
crying. Man. He's just like, that's so depressing.
It's so, you could argue it's too dark, but no, the movie gets the moral across very, very well. And again, the movie repeats this. He should go back home, but no, instead he goes to Pleasure Island. Look what happens on Pleasure Island. He smokes, he has all the alcohol, but boom, he turns into a donkey. He witnesses one of his only friends in the universe, because he just exists. He witnesses him turning into a donkey, and that scene's horrifying. But it's good. It really works for the type of...
Also, the donkeys actually look kind of cute in some way. Here they look absolutely horrifying. Like, I was so scared to see
I guess that's what the original's going for, but it's unintentionally horrifying as the intentionally horrifying, like it's supposed to be in the original, right? Yeah. Like, in the original movie, that scene's so intense. The music, the animation, the actual transformation... That's like it, but it's really, there's not a lot of intensity to it. Like, it just looks
stupid because how terrible the visuals are. Also, I just want to bring up the color grading in this movie is so bad. Like, the daytime scenes are so bright, way too oversaturated. It's just like it just looks terrible. And then the nighttime scenes are too dark. Pleasure Island, for an example, also looks really bad because, like, it's like, what's cool about Pleasure Island's design is that there was like a dark light in the background, but also like cool colors that like signified why the kids would be lured to this place, but also shows us that that there's definitely something sketchy happening here, and like it works. But here it's just so shiny. It's like a regular amusement park, and it's just like,
that's the main thing.
It looks so fake.
It looks like an actual carnival, and when you do that, like, there's no, like, Pleasure Island, they go, like I said, another thing about the original Pinocchio, they go out of your way to make Pleasure Island look like the coolest shit imaginable. They make it look like it's like a place a kid would want to go to, like an amusement park. And like, yeah, because that works, because they're trying to lure the kids in so they can turn them into donkeys or whatever. Yeah, no, in this, it's like a regular carnival, and yeah, a kid would want to go, but it's not as cool. And speaking of the carnival, this leads into another one of my points. Like, in the original, we kind of touched on it earlier, but the point of the original Pinocchio is that he has no morals because, quite literally, in the context of the story, he has existed for one day. Literally one day. He does not know anything about how the world works, about right and wrong. So he just goes along with everything. He ditches school because he doesn't know that that's a bad thing. He goes to Treasure Island because he doesn't know that that's a bad idea. And yes, that's what I think that's interesting from a character perspective. Having a character who he's not malicious, he's not evil, he just doesn't know. It's interesting.
And it makes sense.
But in this, Pinocchio basically just gets peer pressured the entire time.
Yeah, exactly.
He gets pushed around. It's just so much lamer for his character. Like, I don't know. Like, and that misses another point of it. But yeah. Yeah,
anyways,
what else we got to say?
Yeah, what I was going to say is that, like, yeah, exactly, because, like, Pinocchio's kind of dragged into these situations more, and, like, when he goes to Pleasure Island, the whole time he's all like, this isn't the right thing, why should I be here, my papa wouldn't be proud, but then I'm like, why the hell did you go then? Like, this kid knows everything, he has basically no arc in the movie, because he knows what he does is wrong, so I don't care if he gets himself into these situations, he knows they're wrong, he seems to have, like, he pays attention to Jiminy Cricket, and then he ends up getting punished still for it. He goes to school like Jiminy Cricket told him, and then he's just dragged with him. Like, I just prefer, it's not Pinocchio's fault anymore that he's in these situations. Like, he didn't listen to his conscience. That the Jiminy got mad at him. That's why like, and he ended up getting punished for his actions. It's done well. It's like a really dark way of conveying this message to children, and it's like, it's interesting. It's fascinating. Something's fascinating about it, and this film just ruins that like uniqueness that it had, along with the visuals looking terrible. Like, in general, like everything looks bad. We touched on that, but it looks so bad. Like, Honest John looks way too realistic. Just everything looks way too realistic in general. And then the message is just like, be true to yourself, kids, and all that. But like, that's just such a lame way, like, just such a lame but placement. I'm not going to say the original Pinocchio had a complicated message. It really didn't. Like I said, it's a very simple movie. But no, it gets that one point across well. But in this movie, Pinocchio, he quite literally does not have an arc, really. Because in the original Pinocchio, it's simple. He has a goal. He wants to be a real boy. He doesn't accomplish that well at first because he doesn't have morals, but he figures it out. He learns his lesson. He becomes a real boy. Exactly. But in this, Pinocchio's practically the same character from beginning to end, except he doesn't fall into peer pressure anymore, I guess. Like, oh, okay. And then he doesn't even become a real boy at the end because whoop-de-doo. That's cool. Not like that was the whole point anyway. Just ends. I do find that funny, though, in a way. Like, they pad out the movies so much, yet they can't even include, like, the ending scenes of the original movie, of him, like, being in the house and celebrating and being a real boy. They can't even include that if you're gonna, like, stretch it out so much. They try to leave it up to interpretation, with Jiminy saying, did Pinocchio become a real boy? Who knows? And that's just, like, what? It makes no sense. Like, stick to one thing. It's just weird to keep this type of thing up to interpretation out of nowhere. Because he should become a real boy. He was always brave, he was always truthful, and he was non-selfish. Because, like, it makes no sense. He should be a real boy. He should have been a real boy from the start. Because, like, he was aware of his awful actions from the start. Which means, like, he has no room to grow and it can't connect with his character anymore. How does that better the film, Disney, huh? How does that better the film by removing the main character's character arc? Disney?
It doesn't make sense. And I think the worst instance, well, maybe not the worst, but one of the worst instances of it in the movie is, like, basically, so in the original movie, like, another thing about it that's really simple is one of the concept, well, aside from the whole donkey, like, thing that's very obvious, but another one of the main consequences, right, of Pinocchio going to Pleasure Island is it's shown Geppetto goes to look for him, boom. Because he went to look for him, Geppetto got eaten by the whale. Bada boom. It's simple. It goes to the extreme, yeah, but it shows the moral well. Pinocchio, he wanted to go, like, goof off. He wanted to go to this island that he probably shouldn't have. Boom. His father figure is just gone. He got eaten by a whale. But in this, Pinocchio, he looks for Geppetto. He finds him. But no, only when Pinocchio finds Geppetto, that is when he gets eaten by the whale. It's just coincidence. Like, it's not even his fault anymore. So why should he feel bad? Why is it?
Yeah,
like, it removes his arc even further.
That? Like, what, he should have just been. Geppetto should have just already been in the whale, and the whale also looks terrible. They also added this random seagull who adds nothing to the story.
Oh, yeah.
Excuse me.
I almost forgot about him. He's so pointless.
Yeah, everything is pointless. No, a lot of the new stuff is pointless in general. Like, they stretch out, like, certain stuff. They add random songs. Like I said, they add that random ballerina girl. Which, I just want to say, it's weird because they tease that the puppet, that the grown woman is controlling, that she might be Pinocchio's love interest or whatever, and that's just kind of uncomfortable because, like, she's being controlled by, like, a grown
I mean,
woman.
live
So
puppet. Why would you even
it's just
do that?
it's just a weird thing to think about.
What
And
does this woman have to even gain from doing this?
I don't
She just
know. Also, like she
yeah.
works for Stromboli for some reason. I don't know why she does. Like she doesn't feel like someone who would like work for this type of guy. Like she just feels really out of place in this movie. And also,
Yeah.
what's funny is that Stromboli, who was in the original, Pinocchio said he was gonna leave, so that's why he put him in the cage. He literally threatened to kill him. That was just messed up. But then here, he like Pinocchio talks to the ballerina girl, and then out of nowhere, he just throws Pinocchio in the cage. I guess it's just like
Yeah,
why?
it's much less natural, right?
It's like
Like
it made sense in the first movie, but here, and like I said, all the charm and character with like the CG and animation is basically sucked out in this movie. Because like the first Pinocchio movie, for the time, it came out like it was one of Disney's
in
very
1940,
first
yeah,
movies.
definitely one of the earlier. I think it's the second after Snow White, actually. So yeah,
Exactly,
very
yeah.
early.
And I think the
Yeah.
animation looks really good. I mean, I think the fairy looks kind of off, but like everything else looks really good. I think like there's a lot of expression with like, and I think there's just some good timey voice acting, good music here and there.
Yeah.
They remove some songs, like Give a Little Whistle, and they add a bunch of random songs. Like, oh yeah, they give the Coachman a villain song for some reason. I don't know why. I preferred when the Coachman was like this ambiguous like threat who ended up just getting away with literally kidnapping and doing who knows what with all the children. But here they tried to make him look like Johnny Depp.
Oh
I
yeah, I
think
noticed.
he
That
looks
was
like
weird.
Johnny Depp. I swear, I swear, I can't be the only one who noticed is that. It's like, it's weird. I don't know why they tried to do this. Like, they give the Coachman more screen time for no reason. It's just weird. It's like, yeah, like I don't know. Like he was just like he didn't even like the Coachman barely didn't really even interact with Pinocchio in like the first movie, but here he does. He sings a pointless villain song, which apparently that song gets Pinocchio to go to Pleasure Island. Like, why couldn't he just agree to go like he did in the first movie? Like,
Yeah, like
also,
why do you
also
need
like,
convincing?
also it's funny that like the Coachman just like picks up Pinocchio after, I mean like out of nowhere on the street to go to Pleasure Island. Like he just kidnapped someone in the open. Like that's just like funny instead of like I don't know.
Yeah,
Also, yeah,
it also
never
makes no
mind.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like it's just everything is worse as per usual with these remakes, and every little change just makes the story feel more bloated and just like adds nothing. It's basically
Yeah.
like I have no idea what they were trying to do. Like Pinocchio has like what like talk like friggin' donkeys. It is really dark. So turning this
Yeah,
into
and
live
also
action just kind of takes away the type of like just kind of even misses the point of like what the and how the movie conveys its message, and it does all this for the style of animation. And you can make the case for all live action animation things that Disney has made, all these live action remakes, because they're all animated for a reason. So when trying to make
yeah,
these CGI lions who attempt
like
to emote and speak, it doesn't
especially in
work.
Pinocchio's case, like it's very over the toply cartoonish. Like that's what I like about it. It's a world where like a talking fox could just exist.
It just
They don't like
exists.
explain that
We
much,
don't
but
know
he's
why.
there,
He's just there.
and that
I don't know
and I
why.
kind of like that about it. It's very cartoonish, but it obviously because it's a story that primarily works in animation. So
Yeah.
turning that into live action, that's why Honest John feels like so out of place. If it's a cartoon, it would feel normal, but having this weird, realistic looking live action fox walking around when they're all
It just looks
it's
cursed.
weird.
It just doesn't. It looks just so weird. Like I don't know.
Does
It just
not
looks too
blend at all.
realistic. Also, you know what? Believe it or not, I kind of have a compliment for the movie, but it's not really a big one. I guess it's just like out of all people, I didn't mind Keegan-Michael. Actually, no, I did mind Keegan-Michael Kay in this movie as Honest John. But there was something, like, it felt like he was at least trying. There's, like, a passion and presence with his voice that, like, gives a type of character, you know? And it's like, you know, I didn't mind him. He
cared more.
Yeah, you know, I don't know. The scenes with him were actually somewhat enjoyable, maybe just because of that. And I didn't expect to compliment that with this movie. Like, I didn't expect it. I didn't expect that. That was probably the only good thing about it. Everything else is just, yeah. And it's so boring. It's just boring.
Mm-hmm.
It was just this lifeless remake. Of course, that's what it usually is. I hate Disney remakes. Blah blah blah. It's just interesting how this is like probably this is the lowest rated remake on letterboxd right now, and I'm like, wow, I'm surprised by that. I still hate
letterboxd doesn't go after the remakes like as much, but yeah, I don't know why this one got singled out as much as it did.
Like yeah. Anyways, like
I'm not saying it's undeserved, but like why this and not all the other ones? It's just weird.
Yeah. Anyways, like I was saying, yeah, I still think Mulan and The Lion King are worse. The
Lion King definitely still worse.
Yeah, I still hate them. At least I felt something watching this movie. I felt nothing while watching Mulan. Not a single bit of emotion, except agony and boredom. But like, not a single bit of any emotion. It was just this empty husk of its former self, which is, you know what, the best way I can describe these remakes as a whole, because even the best remakes, like The Jungle Book, is still not very good. I mean, I haven't seen The Jungle Book, but like, it doesn't look that good from what I've seen of it. Who knows? But like, I don't know, man. I just don't think it's just like, I don't know. I haven't even seen the original Jungle Book. I don't know, but like, I recently watched the original Pinocchio movie. I liked it. It's pretty good, but this is just like such a downgrade. Also, what did you think of like Robert Zemeckis directing this?
Oh yeah, I don't know, Robert Zemeckis. That didn't give me any hope like it would some people, because he's might be one of the biggest director downgrades I've seen. Because obviously, like, yeah, I love the Back to the Future trilogy. I love Roger Rabbit, Forrest Gump. That's probably good too. I still need to see that. Same. Then after a while, he just kind of degraded. Like, I like Polar Express, but I wouldn't call that a great movie at all. And he tried experimenting with that motion capture stuff for a while. That was weird.
Yeah, like
just weird. It is sad to see though, since it just evolved so much. But
yeah, I didn't expect this movie to be good because of like for Robert Zemeckis, since like I don't really think it would make a difference, especially because like Disney was doing this. Like, yeah, sometimes a good director might not get 100% guarantee that the movie is good. I mean, sometimes it might. It kind of depends, but like in this case, like especially with like, I don't hear people talk about Robert Zemeckis as a director anymore. Like, I think he's like kind of, maybe he's lost his touch. Who knows?
Yeah,
but like
sad.
I feel like
I don't fully blame him for this, but I don't think he helped. That's all I'm gonna say, really.
Yeah, I feel like this probably wasn't his fault or anything. It was the good old Disney. Yeah, Disney. Yeah. Don't we all love Disney?
I love Disney so much. Yeah.
I also feel embarrassed to say this, but I watched this on Disney Plus. I should have just pirated it. I
pirated it because it was just easier. I wanted to get it out of the way.
Yeah, and yes, guys, we do sometimes pirate stuff. Yeah, we don't get viruses.
Because streaming services are going down the drain.
I mean, sometimes I don't know. I only pirate when like I kind of have to see a movie that I guess want to see in some way.
Except of course HBO Max. I love our good old pals at HBO Max.
I don't even have HBO Max, but yeah, that's
subscribe to HBO Max, everyone. They're treating animation great.
Yeah, just great. Yeah, I heard they're really supporting the new cartoon Infinity Train. You know, they're like, I know they're just like with the prices, like they're really giving the creators the respect they deserve to create a cartoon like that that has connected and resonated with so many people. So yeah, and the way they're treating the Ezra Miller situation, like.
Oh man,
Exactly.
great.
Just
Love
so
Ezra
well.
Miller, morally correct guy.
Yeah. You know, he apologized, so we could just
He was
all forgive him.
misunderstood.
He was just misunderstood, guys. It's not like he committed like high scale robberies. That was just an accident, guys. It wasn't his fault. Okay, it wasn't not his fault. It was someone. He was framed. Anyways, back to Pinocchio. I don't know why we started talking about Matrix.
I don't have much more to say about it. My last big thing about Pinocchio is just the climax. There's a lot of dumb stuff in the climax. We already talked about the ending. But I think one of the stupidest things in the movie is that there's like the chase scene at the end where Pinocchio, he's supposed to run away from the whale. And they expect you, a literal puppet, to outspeed a giant whale that's also pushing like a grown man on a boat. Like, what?
Yeah.
How does he outspeed him, and how does he all of a sudden just get really fast at the end?
Because he's just that overpowered. Also, what was I gonna? Yeah. So, God, did I just forget what I was gonna say? I remember. So, like, I know that, like, it ends with, like, a fake out death with, are we in spoilers? I mean...
I don't think... We already talked about the ending. I don't think spoilers
I think it's, like,
anymore.
not really that big thing for spoilers.
Also, it's a live-action remake, so a lot of it is...
True. It's literally just a thing. But, spoilers for the... for the ending.
After we already spoiled the ending
even though
for
we
you.
just... sorry, but, like, I don't think we're gonna get an angry comment saying, How dare you spoil Robert Zemeckis' cinematic masterpiece, Pinocchio? How dare you? It was his vision.
At least the Zemeckis cut.
It was his Snyder cut. It was a cinematic masterpiece. You just don't understand it. It's just like, anyways, that fake out death with Geppetto. It's like, why did they change that? You know, like. Well, like, I preferred how they it made more sense in Pinocchio because it worked for the message. He ended up becoming a real boy, and then boom, satisfying ending. You know, the end. He became a real boy. It's nice. It's a good ending. It's cute. But in here, it's like a fake out death, and then he's all like, and then for some reason Geppetto is all like, excuse me again, I don't know. Anyways, like, and then Geppetto's all like, not every boy can do what you can do because you're wooden, I guess. But like, what did him saving you have to do with him being wooden? Like, they really hammered in that he's like wooden in this movie. Since people keep saying,
arguably,
like, he can't be a real boy, right? Like, he can't become a real boy because he's a wooden boy, but like, yeah, like, it feels like now that he would mainly just want to become a real boy because everyone is telling him he doesn't. It's like the main motivation of the character from Prey, which is like,
Prey.
The only reason I want to become a hunter is because people tell me that
Hunter.
I don't. I know some people like Prey, but I just didn't really like it.
It's not great. But
anyways,
this isn't the Prey discussion.
Yeah, this isn't Prey, but like, yeah, it's like, it's just, yeah. Also, can we talk about the Chris Pine jokes? The friggin' references to Chris Pine, the actor. Hey, kids, do you know who Chris Pine is? Chris Pine?
He's not even born yet, and technically, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just weird. Also, yeah, you could continue with what you were saying earlier, like about.
Oh wait, we were talking about. I think I was just talking about the climax, right?
Oh,
the whale and everything.
I think I did. Yeah. Anyway,
I guess the last thing. I don't know if we'll wrap it up after this, but we can't forget. The clocks.
Oh my god, thank you for reminding me. They're all Disney references. Like, ooh, hey guys, look, it's Woody, he's riding Bullseye. Look, it's Snow White, it's Roger Rabbit, it's Dumbo. You know this, right? Like, it makes no sense in the context of the movie at all. Why do they do that? Didn't we already get Rescue Rangers this year? Like, why do we need more Disney references?
Thing is, I could get it more so if they intentionally made it like an Easter egg. Like if it was in the if they put a a Roger Rabbit clock in the background, so they could be like, oh, that's a neat background.
Yeah, but then
detail.
they just shove it down like your throat. It's like, hey
They
guys,
call
look, it's
direct
Woody.
attention
It's
to
like
it.
there's like it's just like solely focusing on the clocks. It's like, oh my god, just why?
So lame.
That is so annoying. Thank you for reminding me about that. I forgot to mention.
We couldn't go without mentioning the epic clock.
Well,
scene.
do you have anything else to say?
No, I think we all covered it all pretty well.
I guess we'll get to our ratings.
I'm an easy 1 out of 10 on this.
Interesting. Okay. Actually, I also gave it. I didn't give it a 1. I gave it a 2 out of 10. One of the worst movies this year. It's in my top 5. There's been a lot of bad movies this year that I've seen.
Is it better than Luck?
Yeah. No.
Oh,
it's worse.
I love
It's worse.
Luck.
I bet. I don't think. Just whatever. Alright, yeah, Pinocchio is bad. Just like, I don't know, somehow even worse than I thought it was gonna be. It's just like, whatever. I don't know, it sucks. 2 out of 10.
Not a fan.
Bad movie. Don't watch it. Don't. Unless you want to be insulted by your childhood, I guess. So, this week, I watched the Matrix trilogy, and,
yeah.
we're not talking about the other ones, because screw that, we're talking about Matrix 4. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, baby.
That's right, just Matrix 4. Yeah.
Movie that's debatably better than the movie we just talked about.
I think it's slightly better. It's slightly better.
Both are really bad, but I think it's a slightly
better. We said it, guys.
So,
I know this is a hot take, but Matrix 4 is bad. Yeah, really bad. And it is not deep, guys. It is not deep. I'm sorry. Look, I'm fine. If you like this movie, good. If it connected with you in some way, resonated you, good. No more power to you. But I wouldn't be mad about this if it wasn't that people were trying to like sound deep about it and be like, bro, guys, this is just such a masterpiece. You see, everything was intentionally bad. It's like, yeah, it's just like it's amazing. You know, it's really deep. You know, it's just some great commentary. It's so deep. Like trying to be these like film bros, and it's like, really? I don't.
There's nothing here.
Anyways,
the first thing I want to directly mention about Matrix Resurrections, I think it's the first thing I want to get over. This is like my main point about it, and I don't think this is the worst example of a meta movie. Or I think Chip and Dale's worse. There are a couple others that I think are worse. But what I will say, as like a slight compliment to Rescue Rangers. I hate Rescue Rangers. It's awful. It's worse than this movie, actually. But one thing I will say about Rescue Rangers is that at least for all its faults, it commits fully to being a meta movie. From the beginning to the end, that the stupid meta, stupid self-referential, like, that sticks. It's a constant throughout the full thing. I hate it. It's awfully done. But it's there. Meanwhile, with Matrix 4, you got all that in like the first 30-ish minutes. They do all that stuff. Keanu, he's a game developer, and they do the epic commentary on whoa.
I'm sure that our beloved maker, Warner Bros. Has decided to make a sequel without our permission of Matrix Resurrections, Mr. Anderson.
Yep, beloved sequel to the trilogy, I hear.
Beloved, like, it's so unsubtle. Like, you can't... That's the best you can think of when doing something like this. And it's like, it's just like, they're just like, wasn't The Matrix such a good movie? Boy, I really want to rewatch The Matrix. And you know what? The first Matrix, pretty good movie. I don't love it. Yeah. I think I respect it, like, as a movie more than I like it. But it's a good movie, you know, fun visual effects, fun world, fun concept. It works. It works.
I
But
think we all have similar thoughts on
the
the
trilogy.
first three Matrix
Yeah,
movies.
if you're wondering what we think of it, I gave the first film a 7, I gave the second film a 5, and then I gave the third film a 4, and I'll say my rating for this one at the end.
That might be my. I think that might be my same ratings for the original three too, actually. But yeah. So, but yes, just to get back to my point, like Matrix 4 has that awful meta commentary. They go on with that. Then after the first, like I said, the first 30-ish minutes, it's gone. After that, they just commit to being Diet Matrix 1. That's what it is for the rest of it.
It's just the sake of they just drop Matrix the meta reference.
Like if that's your point of your movie, can you stick to it? Like at least
exactly.
Come on.
Just stick to it. Like I guess do something with it. Like there's this cool idea with Neo's character, like battling his I guess depression in some way of being overshadowed by the Matrix and his creation. But who cares about that? Because they think that Matrix references are more important than dealing with the concept of depression and sadness, which basically makes the thing worse in general.
Quite literally footage from the other movies, I
hate that.
They are not subtle.
It ruins the editing and pacing of the whole film's presentation, because it's for an example, when not Hugo Weaving, not Agent Smith, which I'm gonna call him, says Mr. Anderson, and then they have to cut back to the other clip so people can be all oh, I remember that, and I'm all that's just bullcrap. Why are you doing that? We know it. Do you think
the original Matrix is, and it's so jarring because obviously because they're filmed decades apart, the original Matrix, it looks different visually, so it's you're cutting to 1999 footage to compare to 2021 footage, so it clashes so hard with the rest of it.
Yeah, it's so dumb. It's just such a lame movie. It is so boring and soulless in every conceivable way. There's nothing interesting about it. Nothing it's really. I mean, there's ideas here, potentially okay ideas. You got like I said, Neo's depression, stuff about society and whatever. But then they just don't do anything with it. The movie can't decide if it wants to be this meta commentary, this deep and just this deep retelling of the Matrix with depression and crap, and it just doesn't mesh well, because it mainly focuses on just recreating the first one, and that kind of pisses me off more, because the movie doesn't think that's worth devoting time to, and instead wants to just reference the original movie and just be you remember the Matrix? I loved that movie. What a good movie. I should rewatch it right now instead of rewatching this movie that is even longer, and this is the longest Matrix movie, and I felt every second of it because the film was really boring.
Yeah, because I don't know, like I said, the rest of it is just so toned down. Look, it may be toned down. It's just so much it literally is Diet Matrix 1, and it's so much less cool. The action scenes, oh god, those are really bad.
Yeah, they're so sloppily coordinated. The color grading is really bad. It just there's just too much stuff going on, and the movie is not able to blend this well together fluently at all, and it's just so incohesive and all over the place, and it's just not fun to watch. There isn't even much of it in the movie as much as there should be. The visual effects still look lame. I mean, if I had a compliment, there was maybe some good shots here and there, but that was about it. Oh yeah, that looked terrible.
Oh god, the explosion and his office building, that effect looks really bad. Yeah. Also, and some of the other ones too.
Yeah. Also, I just want to talk about how this whole thing with Neo being this game developer. Oh yeah, spoilers, by the way. Spoilers, guys. Spoilers. So
for the Matrix Resurrection.
Spoilers. We haven't spoiled anything yet. Yeah, we haven't spoiled. So it's just why? How does Neo? So Neo is a game developer in this movie for some reason, and he made the Matrix trilogy, but but then we see I guess, cutscenes from his video game in the movie. Like, he walks into a room with, like, Morpheus and Bugs Bunny, which, for some reason, that's her name. I don't know why that's her name. It's weird. But then, like, he walks
Yeah, I
into the
don't know.
room, and then he just sees the first Matrix movies playing, and apparently that was, like, part of his game. So, like, how does he not remember if he remembered what happened in the original
Yeah.
movie? How did he remember these
That's so
details?
weird.
Like the quote that Agent Smith said in the first movie. Speaking of Agent Smith, who is easily the best part of this trilogy, they ruin him. They ruin the
Mr.
best
Anderson.
character. He doesn't even call
Yep.
him Mr. Anderson. I mean, he does
He doesn't
once.
even say the funny
He
line.
does once, but that's only like once in the movie. And then
But
like
even then, he like yells it. It's not the same tone.
yeah, it's not
he
like
doesn't say it.
he talks like a completely different person. He's voiced by Jonathan Groff, and he just doesn't fit this role at all. He's basically a completely different character in this movie.
And it's so
He is
noticeable because in the
they
first
assassinated
three, he
his
talks
character.
in like in the first three Matrix movies, he talks in like such like a specific way. You know, like every like it's an iconic line delivery. Like he goes, "Mr. Anderson."
Mr.
Like, I find that
Anderson.
line kind of funny because of the stupid Jax films meme. But then no, it's like an iconic line delivery. So when he doesn't have it, it feels so off. Like yeah, it's just weird.
Yeah, it's just like it's just so lame. It's just like such a lame character. Also, since we're in spoiler territory, he literally saves Neo's life. He kills the villain of the movie, which I'll get to in a second. But like he kills him, and then he just like, why was he even in this movie? Like, my issues with this happened in the other two Matrix sequels. They needed more Agent Smith. If he was gonna be the big threat of the franchise, like the big threat, like at the end of the Matrix Revolutions, he should have been in the movie more to lead more up. There should have been more build up to that like great climax with a confrontation between Neo and Agent Smith. And I think the reason they got like Hugo Weaving to not come back, because apparently he couldn't like, I think he just couldn't make.
Yeah,
like,
I heard
the
about it. It was
Jutsu.
literally just like I think it was literally like scheduling conflicts. Like he couldn't appear when they were supposed to film, so they were just like, screw you, Hugo Weaving, you're not gonna be in this." And they got the other guy.
Yeah,
So
yeah, just so
so
stupid.
dumb.
Just so dumb. Also,
multi-million-dollar Warner Brothers can't reschedule, but yeah.
Our fellow company Warner Brothers has decided to make a sequel without it's like so unsubtle. Like, is this supposed to be like, I think, personal for Lana Wachowski? And like, yeah,
I've
they
heard some of that.
I don't know. It's like it's clear like she didn't fully commit to that at all. It doesn't
She don't-
commit
what-
to anything to save for its life. It's just all over the place, and it's just
But
annoying.
my theory is I think all the meta stuff was her idea, but like Warner Brothers couldn't let like her commit to that for like a full Matrix movie.
And it just
they had to like
executed so
dumb it down.
poorly.
And I don't think that meta stuff's good. But clearly, like in some way, is personal to what her experiences are. So that's like I can commend it for like that, at least what it did for her, at least. But no, they don't commit to that. Like Diet Matrix 1 with remember bullet time?
Yeah,
All
bullet
that.
time. Remember when he blocked the bullets? Well, we're gonna do that like a bunch of times in like a single action scene. Like, we're gonna do that a lot. He's gonna block the bullets. He's gonna do the thing. He's gonna do the thing. He's gonna do the thing, guys. Don't you love the Matrix? Cause he's doing the thing. It's just so good. It's a great movie. 10 out of 10. It's just so good. I love the Matrix Resurrections. It's such a good movie. I love it so much. What a deep masterpiece. And like I said, if you like this movie, I'm not like saying that you're dumb or whatever, but I'm just saying like I just like don't like pretend. I guess it's like this deep dark thing that is trying to be
really
smarter
not.
than all the other reboot stuff by saying it's just like this deep thing, it knows it's a terrible sequel. It's so meta to the point when it knows how bad it is, but it's still a bad movie at the end of the day. But who cares? It knows it's bad. Just because a movie knows it's bad doesn't mean it's not bad. I can't stress enough. Like, I shouldn't need to say this, but movies keep doing this. They just keep doing this. Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, which we already mentioned earlier, that does that as well. It does the references. It's incredibly hypocritical, and this film is as well. It makes fun of franchise sequels, pretend it's much more deeper. It's so pretentious in terms of it,
also,
just because it has.
So Looper does this. I just want to shout that out. Looper also does this. They point out time travel doesn't make sense, but distract from the fact that Looper doesn't make any sense.
Really?
So,
I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
I heard.
I try to point that out.
Okay.
I wanted to mention my favorite Ryan Johnson film, Looper.
We could do a Ryan Johnson special one day once Glass Onion releases worldwide. I know it already premiered.
We'll do all of his movies. Brick.
Just
Brothers Bloom, Knives Out,
Last Jedi, just all that great stuff by Ryan the guy.
Coming up.
The epic Ryan Johnson special. We have a lot of epic podcasts to record in the future, but it's just I think they could have I don't know. There's some okay ideas here, but like I said, the movie never sticks to these themes. So what's the point? Just because a movie has themes, as long as it's not weaved into, an interesting or engaging story in any conceivable way. So, I just don't care, because the movie does absolutely nothing with these themes. They're just kind of in the movie. They just completely gloss over them. It's so lame.
Yeah.
And the favor for Matrix references. And also, when they get out of the Matrix, I notice, the movie just kind of stops there. The stakes feel so low. Oh, no, Neo needs to go back and get Trinity, I guess, whose name is Tiffany. It's,
so clever.
So very clever, I guess. Very. Who apparently already has, a family, and yet she says to Neo that I never wanted a family, and then I'm like, you just said this to a person that you supposedly just met, that you don't or care for your family, and then it's just I don't even know if I even like Trinity anymore. It's just dumb. Everything is so, it's just such a weird way to take this franchise. Maybe you shouldn't even taken it anywhere, because this franchise already ended years ago.
They couldn't even get both directors back. Lily Wachowski-Bale.
I can't say I blamed her. It feels like no one really even cared to be a part of this movie.
And I don't blame her, but I think it's sad. They collaborate on most projects, but they gave up for Matrix.
You can tell that Warner Bros. Was they were forcing and putting the pressure on them to make this movie. It's you can tell that, and that's what the movie is about. A movie about making the Matrix 4, I guess, which, could work, because the Matrix is already about questioning your own reality, and it's handled well in the first film. So I think they could have done that well here. Of course they don't do that, though, because it's all just an excuse to reference the original without having a single thing that makes it unique for any other movie. And that's what I hate the most about it. It's just such a boring, pretentious pile of garbage with no charm or just anything. It's so lame.
And like I kind of said, I would, even if it was bad meta commentary, which in all honesty it probably would have been, but if I would have at least respected it more in a way if they just did the meta commentary throughout the full thing. I don't think I'd like it, but it'd be consistent, and I feel that's an idea that an actual person had, a Matrix movie. But what we have now, it feels like I said, it feels like Lana, she had her personal shit she dumped in the first 30 minutes. But then after that, Warner Brothers was okay, go make your first movie again now, boom. And then that happened. I'd care for it more as a movie, but nope, that doesn't happen at all. We just got Diet Matrix.
Just Diet Matrix bullcrap. It's just a load of bullshit. It's just hated it. I was I didn't expect it to be good from what I heard of it. I said to watch The Matrix I guess just this week, because I planned on watching this franchise for a while, and I was all fine, I finally will do it. and I did watch them all. And I honestly don't really like The Matrix as a trilogy that much. The first film is good, but that really is about it. The sequels are kind of not good at all. And this one is the worst one.
I recommend Reloaded fight scenes, though. Like, if I have to say anything,
I love that Agent
if there's
Smith
a way you can watch just the fight scenes in Matrix Reloaded, watch those. Those are easily the most entertaining thing about the movie.
That's the best part of Matrix Reloaded.
The rest of the movie's kind of mid, but other than that, watch that.
Yeah.
And Revolutions is boring, but I don't have anything passionate to say about it.
Revolutions is literally essentially just like a long fight scene between aliens and humans, and it goes on for way too long. Like, it's half of the movie. There's barely any plot. Everything just happens. It's just so weirdly paced. It's all over the place. It just doesn't feel like a proper conclusion to the franchise. But hey, at least it made a decent ending to the franchise, because I ended up liking the climax, and I thought the ending left the trilogy on a good note for what it was, despite the movie being bad. But like, yeah, this movie just like, nope, they just had to make this. Did this movie even do well? I
don't know. Thing is,
I know it released near No Way Home. It's hard to judge
box office on it, since it was simultaneously got released on HBO Max and in theaters the same day. So it's hard to judge how well it did based on that.
I don't think it did.
But I don't think it did great.
I don't think it I feel like they definitely expected it to do better, because it was a sequel to
I don't think it bombed or anything, but it didn't do great.
Yeah, there's a reason like not much people talk about it. I mean, people talk about it, but usually just never wanted. Also, let's talk about Morpheus, his character in this movie, which like just like how he's just in this movie. He's most of the time he just makes references, like, I guess just points out dialogue from the original movie and be all like, man, that was just great dialogue, guys. The Matrix was so good. And like, he's not even actually Morpheus, because they had to like recast him. And like, it just like, and then apparently he's also an algorithm mixed with Morpheus and Agent Smith. I think
doesn't make any
everything
sense.
with the algorithm and video game stuff makes absolutely no sense. But like, who cares? It's all about the Matrix Resurrections. It's all about the Matrix, baby. Who cares about logic? Who cares about it being entertaining? We all just need that sweet Matrix reference. Oh hell yeah, the Matrix, baby.
And also on top of that, that adds like him not even being the same actor either. On top of Agent Smith not being the same actor, that just adds to like the cheapness of the movie. Like, one of your directors isn't there, two of your main actors aren't there. It just it doesn't feel like. It feels like no one wanted to be there.
Yeah, just
like and even when it's the more personal stuff, I don't think Lana wanted to be there either. Since the beginning sounds so mad. Like, first 30 minutes are so passive aggressive and mean.
Yeah,
no one had fun. I don't think anyone had fun making this movie. It sounds so miserable.
It just seems like this. It was just this soulless, empty thing, and it's just so pretentious, because it just thinks, oh, we're so clever referencing other films. We're so clever.
The pill scene is so pretentious, where he has all the pills.
You see, guys, he takes blue pills. It's like the Thing. It's like he takes blue pills. Don't you love this movie? Isn't it a great movie? I love The Matrix Resurrections. Hell yeah, 5-star movie, amazing.
The
pills, baby. Yeah, that's right. The Matrix pills. Hell yeah. I love The Matrix. Just 5-star movie. Man, this movie is actually pissing me off. It just like, I guess I just like, I wouldn't care for the meta thing as much as if people just weren't like trying to defend this movie, calling it deep and saying, well, you just don't understand it. You just don't understand the movie's deep themes and commentary. You just don't understand it. And I'm just like, ugh, please stop.
I think it was way more painful because I watched it. For me, I wanted to get it, I think, kind of the opposite to you. I wanted to get the movie out of the way right away. I knew it'd be bad, so I think the literal morning Matrix 4 came out, I did a little pirating. I watched it, And that morning, I was the first out. I think any of my film friends, I was the first to see it. And because the morning it came out, I swear to God, the movie was at least a 3.5, 3.6, maybe even 3.7. All the top reviews were praising it. And the most annoying thing is, some of the top reviews, I think there's this one top review, I can't pinpoint the letterboxd username right now. He was talking about how, Spider-Man No Way Home does references poorly, but no, Matrix 4, it's the opposite. Matrix 4, they did well right.
Yeah,
but No Way Home is literally one of the only reference movies in the past few years that's good.
Yeah, but I want to explain. The reason No Way Home works is because it does something new with its characters. It continues to continue some of the characters in some way, in ways that and give us a different type of approach to them that we never knew we might needed. We see a different side of Andrew Garfield's Spider. Oh wait, spoil. Who am I kidding? Everyone's seen it. Everyone's seeing it. Literally, Disney is marketing the movie with Toby and Andrew. I'm pretty sure everyone should know it at this point. But we see a different side to these characters. It's interesting, and it does a great job at tying in to Peter's development in the movie. It's it works. They do something new with it that makes me define it. I see No Way Home as its own thing, and it is. It doesn't
rely on
I like it.
Technically, it relies on them since the references develop the story.
Yeah,
but instead of just having the references they're there for they have a purpose. They're developing the art.
Exactly.
And yeah, there are some stuff that I think is kind of lame. I don't know. I don't like the scientist line. I don't like. They literally do Andrew literally fixes Toby's back because the fucking back meme.
My back.
Oh, my back.
My back.
Yeah, they did. They
that was a bit unnecessary and shoved in. I guess that felt
it's definitely better than other movies. Meanwhile, Matrix 4, there's not really a purpose. It's just kind of there.
It's just
if anything, it's so out of place. They literally play Matrix 1 clips and they go, "Oh, what's that?"
Can you imagine if No Way Home just constantly played us clips back to back when Key and Goblin? That would be so annoying. I would dislike the movie so much more if it did that, because I got so annoyed every time that was on screen.
They just play
just play it. We know the reference already. Can we get at least a little subtlety? Subtlety can make the film I don't know, maybe make us work more. It could have just, don't be this in your face. It's annoying and it just comes off as just annoying and pretentious. And that's the best way I can describe the Matrix Resurrections. A boring, pretentious cash grab with no purpose or no character. And I think we should wrap up soon.
Yeah.
But I want to quickly talk about the analyst as a villain, who is voiced by the guy from the Smurfs movies.
Oh, yep, twist the villain, baby.
Yeah, we all know.
I thought we were done with those. I thought Disney was the only one who's still doing them, but nope. Twist the villain.
That's honestly, that's such a stupid. He's so lame as a character. He has none of the charm or character Agent Smith has. He barely does anything interesting throughout the movie, other than just spit out monologues here and there, and he doesn't have any presence or interesting presence or anything, and there's not much build up towards his reveal.
The twist itself has real it's practically just shock value for the sake of shock value. Who was this therapist? Oh, he was the big villain all along.
Oh my gosh, the guy what? It just doesn't make sense.
Believe that?
Also, I forgot to mention, thank God we didn't end it yet, because the acting. What happened? What happened with Keanu in this movie? He's so bad.
Much worse.
He was so bad in this movie, and I didn't expect it. I don't think he's an amazing actor, but he's not this bad. He's never seems this bad. He seems so soulless and uninterested. He I remember there's this line in the trailer.
I think it's
when he says
in the
Trinity,
beginning.
and it's just so it was just such bad and corny dialogue.
I think his worst acting is in the beginning of the movie, because he just seems so tired. He doesn't have any energy. He just feels he's...
there's just no...
And it's kind of in his character that he's kind of a schlubby guy who's past his prime with his video games, but even still...
I never thought, Neo
Casually
was
just
an
like walking
amazing
around and stuff.
protagonist or anything, but like, his rivalry with Agent Smith was able to make his character more entertaining enough for me to still like the first movie. But like in this movie, he's just even more bland, and just his character is just, and it's all down to Keanu's just very soulless and lame performance. And like like the other performances don't feel much better. Like obviously, like I said, Jonathan Groff does not fit Agent Smith at all. He's basically a completely different
Definitely not
character.
bad.
They bring stuff back
Yep.
like that French guy from the first two movies for no reason other him just to rant about social media and bullcrap. I
Remember
really
him?
hated that. I don't know. His character wasn't even that good in the first two Matrix movies. So I don't know why he wasn't even that, like, I don't know why they brought him back. Like, hey, remember that one French guy in the first two Matrix movies?
Whoa,
I mean, yeah, I don't
I
know.
love him.
Hey, remember that
great.
one girl from the Matrix Revolutions? She's in this movie.
Whoa.
Don't you feel nostalgic?
Can
Don't
you
you feel
believe that?
nostalgic, guys? The Matrix was very good. I'm just so happy. I'm just The Matrix. What a great movie. 10 out of 10. Would watch again.
Yeah.
Just like whatever. It's just like, oh yeah. Also the actor who played in general, the new characters add nothing to the story. Like, they do
Yeah.
nothing. They have no character or
The
personality.
one girl who's like kind of a fanboyish of Keanu, he's like, oh, God, it's Neo, the famous guy.
Yeah, but there's no
Get all
charisma
this
or
stuff.
character in her performance that makes me like her characters. There's no reason to make us care about anything. Like, it's just such a terrible sequel. It doesn't know what it wants to be. It's all over the place. It thinks it's smarter than it really is. I'm truly surprised of how terrible this movie truly was.
Yeah.
And I think I might
think
even hate it more than most people who might dislike this movie.
I just don't really care about the Matrix, so which is why I didn't get as mad at it.
I
I'm
don't
more
know.
mad at
Even
the
then, I just like there's just something about this movie that just like, and how people keep just defending it. Like the film bros just keep defending this movie as being this deep emotional masterpiece.
pro tip. Do not read the high. Don't read popular reviews for this movie that are positive. They'll give you a headache. They're so fun. Well, they're kind of funny unintentionally, but they're so pretentious in how they're talking about stuff the movie really doesn't say at all.
If you like the
If
movie,
it does, it
if
isn't
you connected
executed
with
well.
it, if you resonated with it, if you had fun with it, you know what? Good for you. I'm happy you enjoyed this movie. I'm happy you found value, even in either of these movies. Here at Campy Cast, we accept opinions, even ones we
accept
heavily
opinions, but if
disagree
you-
with, as long as it's like
But-
not a dumb reason, like a bias or like just like a
Nah,
dumb
nah,
or annoying
we
reason.
accept
for
opinions just if
justifying.
you explain them poorly. We're gonna make fun of it, but yeah.
I don't know, but we don't think you're dumb or anything if you like both of these movies. Just want to get that across.
Yeah.
But yeah, do we have anything else to say, or should we start wrapping this
no.
up?
Actually, I have
think-
one more thing to say. Was that one line of dialogue you told me about the bawling my mom or something?
Oh yeah, yeah. It was like one of the lines, like one of Trinity's kids said to Neo.
I
once when
wanted
they
to
were
point that
shaking
out
their
line out.
hands.
We couldn't end without it.
I remember, like, when I was watching this movie, I literally screenshotted that line and I sent it to him because I thought that was so funny. So, like, I don't know, there's just
Ball
something
my
about
mom or
it, just
something?
something hilarious. Anyways,
All right. Yeah.
well,
Yeah. I think
let's
that's it.
get to our ratings. I'm giving it a 2 out of 10. Bad movie. Would never.
I think I
watch.
currently have it at a 3 right now, but it's probably more closer to like a 2. Yeah, 2 to 3-ish. Like, I know I ranted about it a lot, but I really don't have like the energy to get mad at this
That
movie
is
much.
fair enough, I guess.
I think
but don't know.
I like hate it, but there are other movies that I find more insulting and more like
Yeah.
annoying in terms of legacy sequels. So yeah, bad. I don't like despise it as much. Just very, very, very not good. Not recommend. I hate The Matrix.
The Matrix is a bad movie, and you should not. The Matrix Resurrections, and I would not recommend it. I'm sorry if you like this
Yep.
movie, good for you, I guess. But I just don't understand why. I'm sorry. I
That's
just
great.
don't. I just don't understand what people see in this movie, in this pretentious pile of garbage. So I guess thank you for tuning in for our very first episode. We don't know when we'll upload. We're not even going to tell you what our next movie we're going to review
we won't have a
next.
schedule since we probably won't be able to commit
Yeah,
to one.
exactly. We don't want to like
Try to
rush
do at
these
least a
out.
couple of months, depending on like our
Yeah, we'll do
availability
whenever.
and
It's like
everything.
it's just like we have like, lives and stuff, here and there. But we'll do it whenever we want to. Thank you for watching. Thank you for checking this out.
Yeah.
And we'll see ya. See you guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Bye
turning
bye,
in for episode 1.
Cardi. Bye bye.
Yeah, that.